News.
Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe officially signing the controversial new congressional map into law today. Kehoe says the map better represents Missourians and thanks state lawmakers as well as President Donald Trump for their support. The map creates new districts for Missouri's representation in the U.S. House and is likely to send one more Republican to the Capitol. But it's facing several legal challenges, lawsuits, and a citizen petition. The lawsuits claim the process of implementing the map was unconstitutional, as redistricting is usually done once per decade after the census. The state constitution is unclear on whether mid-decade redistricting is allowed. The People's Not Politicians movement is circulating a petition to put the map up for a statewide vote. It requires more than 100,000 signatures to get on the ballot. Turning